And now, Archie, today's Express focus on the economy. Look at what the Express prints. Don't choke, don't laugh, don't be in shock. I have told you all these newspapers are anti-democracy. They are biased, corrupt, and dishonest. Colm's best year ever. Let's see who wrote this. By Asha Javeed. By Asha Javeed, who loves PNM, man. Whether small pin, John Jeremy making child. If she used to love UNC and PNM, well, she could write as an investigative political journalist 2010 to 2015 with a court case judgment against her, Irene Medina, the Express and others for being totally biased, dishonest and wicked against the UNC. But here it is, the worst Minister of Finance in history, in the worst time. And you read in the Express, Colm's best year. Well, let me read what Asha Javeed had to say, because she's the only one saw the sanction clause that Small Pin was there, in there with Parry and Wilmer Ruperti and Traffic Guru and ES Euro Shipping. She could read upside down because Small Pin showed her the clause while she was on she back. This is not funny. You could love who you want. But when there's a conflict of interest, there are certain jobs that you cannot do. Certain jobs, like being a journalist, you need to be impartial. You need to get down to the facts so that you do not hoodwink and lie. Because the mass media is very important to democracy, providing facts. Many people believe that the newspapers are so brilliant and honest and so on. We were even taught that long ago. And that's why they are powerful to persuade you and keep your perception going on, that you will vote to pay 50,000 a year more than to leave Kamala. Imagine that. Now you understand what happens. Let's read Miss Asha Javeed. After 6 years of cutting and contriving, Finance Minister Colm Imbert can look back at 2022 as a year that he did not have to worry about the government's overdraft or whether the country's debt was getting out of hand. For the first year since he became Minister of Finance in September 2015, Imbert has more money than he expected. Really? But let's continue. The Russia-Ukraine war led to soaring energy prices, which gave him an unbudgeted and unexpected $8 billion in revenue. Last October, he presented a $52.4 billion budget and so on. His theme was one of resilience. Great. As a result of energy gains in the past few months, TNT's budget deficit for 2022 is estimated to be around $2 billion. So still a deficit, you know. So Asha Javeed tells you that this is Colm's best year due to war. Did Colm start the war? Colm created the war? The war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, creates a price hike, price shock in the energy sector. And Asha Javeed said this is the best year for Colm because the deficit was only $2 billion and he got $8 billion extra. Here's the problem, Asha Javeed, you dishonest PNM. Had the refinery been open, that $8 billion extra would have been $22 billion extra, as countries with refineries across the board have made much more. Had the gas production been increasing rather than decreasing, that $8 billion would have been up to $30 billion. Had the PNM implemented proper policy on heritage and so on in the land wilds and created and improved the production per day in oil up to 92 million barrels when Kamala and Kevin Ramnarine were there, this largesse would have been much larger. If Colm Imbert and Rowley had diversified the economy and not only the energy sector, and we had different revenue streams, our deficit would not have been so bad. If Colm Imbert and Rowley did not borrow so much and carry our debt to GDP ratio upwards of 97%, to spend on recusals and useless projects which are waste and corruption across the board, then we would not have been so badly off. If Rowley and Smallpin had not gone to Houston in 2017, usurped the authority of the intelligent negotiators like Jerry Brooks and other technocrats in Houston and conclude a negotiation which saw a decrease in the profits of NGC by 67% and an increase in the profits of the upstreamers by 67% because it's a zero-sum game, and 11 companies at Point Lisas did not consequently, due to Rowley's stupidity, have to close down, then the largesse from the war would have been greater. So you, the PNM, the Express, and Asha Javeed are bigging up Colm because of Putin's war. This is where we reach in Trinidad and Tobago. You're my people. I beseech you. I do not understand what is wrong with us. Do not let these people hoodwink you. But in the same Business Express after that, and that's given prominence. So you see that, as I flip the page, you see that Colm's best here. But doesn't it worry you that Colm's best is painful? Colm's best is sufferation. Colm's best is starvation. Colm's best is unemployment. Colm's best is no money for textbooks. Colm's best is crime across the board and criminality. Doesn't that they have no shame? So Colm's best, which is not due to him, is your worst. Shouldn't you vote for somebody else who could do a better job? Super diesel prices rise sharply since September 2015. Let's read this. And Asha Javeed, well, this one she has to print the truth, but it's hidden. But the Douglas found it. Subsidy cap could mean more hikes. Asha Javeed. Prices of two widely used fuels, super and diesel, have more than doubled under the stewardship of Finance Minister Colm Imbert. Let me read that again. Prices of two widely used fuels, super and diesel, have more than doubled under the stewardship of Finance Minister Colm Imbert. So it's doubled since Kamla. The price that you pay twice as much for a tank of gas now under Imbert and the PNM and Rowley than you did under Kamla. Who would you vote for? Who would you vote for? The person who gave you cheaper fuel so you can drive, do what you want, have freedom and security to pick up your children, do extracurricular activities, go on holiday, move around the country? Or the people who tell you, park up your car? It's simple, it's policy. And that means every single citizen should vote Kamla. But no, you have newspapers lying, you have racist propaganda, you have division, and then you end up with Rowley. Also, let us not forget that they eliminated regular gasoline for fishermen also, which then exacerbated the price of food, which is fish, that their men cannot catch now, and they cannot afford. So yeah, add on that too, but she continued. And with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announcing on July 18 that the government may cap fuel subsidies at $1 billion, there is a possibility, not a possibility, a certainty that prices at the pump may escalate even more, will escalate even more in 2023 fiscal year, which starts on October 1st, 2022. The only reason it may not escalate is if the war stops. If Ukraine and if Russia stop attacking Ukraine. I wonder if Imbert in charge of that. Imbert, well, since they begin you up for the war, tell Putin stop now. Oh, you like the war because the war brings your best year, says Asha Javeed. Imbert has announced increases in the price of super gasoline on 5 occasions in the last 7 years, driving up the cost of the commodity from $2.70 per liter in September 2015. You see, they wouldn't say $2, I will say it, $2.70 per liter in September 2015. In other words, Kamla $2.70 per liter. Kamla $2.70 per liter. to $5.97 per litre in April 2022. From Kamla 270 per litre to Rowley and Imbert $5.97, $6 per litre. Because Kamla said the subsidy is for you. It's for her people. The resources belong to her people. And she would not have touched that. Because it also impacts everything has to be transported. And then you have to add on food price inflation, medicine inflation, hardware inflation, construction inflation, all that. So you vote for this? How do you, please, how you vote for this, please? So if you're going to eat a pilau at a restaurant, you have both of them tasting the same exact pilau, right? Because the diesel, same thing. Well, now you don't even know that because they're bringing in some diesel now from Paria. Oh God, you can't. It never gets easy with the PN. Let me pretend like the diesel is the same, okay? The diesel and the premium, same thing. So same pilau, same taste, same thing, same amount. But here, this restaurant, you paying twice the amount. So you're paying $100 for a plate of pilau. But under this restaurant, you're paying $50. And you would choose to go in this restaurant? Please, explain this red restaurant. Explain this Balize juice restaurant. Please, explain why you would vote for this and not the yellow Kamla restaurant. All of you are scratching your head now. Continued. That is an increase of 121% between October 5th, 2015, when the 2016 budget was presented, and today. Super is the most used by drivers of small and medium-sized cars. In other words, the PNM suffered middle and poorer people. The price of diesel used in the transportation industry, which means added on to the price of every single good in Trinidad and Tobago, has increased even more, moving from $1.50 per litre in September 2015. Now Asha Javeed can't write the truth. September 2015, that was the price that Kamla Prasad Bisesa left there, that the UNC left there. For you, the people, that was the price. What was Kamla's price? $1.50 per litre. And now, Colm's price, Rowley's price, the PNM's price is $3.91 per litre. An increase of 160%. 160% over Kamla. If you fill a gas tank every 4 days, you dip in your pocket and you pay 160% more for Rowley to be the Prime Minister, for him to tell you nothing about doubles, for him to ban open fire cremation, for him to attack every citizen in the most arrogant manner. You pay 160% more. Every 4 days you drive into a gas station and open your gas tank. Then when you could, do you have a picture of Kamla? Put up a picture of Kamla if you could. Because every time Kamla fought, I was in the meetings 4 years straight when those technocrats at the Ministry of Finance came and told this lady, the subsidy is too expensive, it's utilizing too much money, you will be able to, no, you can leave up, let the people see, and leave my voice. When they said, you will have more money to spend on what you would like to do, hospitals and roads and policies, rather than spend it on the people. And 4 times every year, I sat there and heard Kamla Prasad Bisesa say, do you believe that the resources of the country belong to the people? Everyone who's born here, who lives here. And they would go, and she would say, no, maybe I'm not speaking clearly. She asked, do you believe that the resources of the country, meaning the oil and gas and all the natural resources, belong to each and every citizen? And they said, well, ma'am, we don't know. She said, well, hold on, I know. And I believe that And therefore, it is my belief, said Kamla Prasad Bisesa, that the best distribution of those resources is through the gas subsidy, because the widest cross-section of the population benefits. Imbert come to say, well, the rich just benefit more. She said everybody benefits. Whether you have a car, or you take bus, or you take maxi. Everybody benefits because every single good is transported. So she said, with all due respect, and she's very respectful, I hear what you're saying, but the policy of my government, my policy, is to leave the subsidy there for the benefit of the people, so that the food would be tolerable, the prices will be tolerable, they could utilize their cars, they could move around in secure situations. 4 years straight I saw and heard with my own ears as I was a cabinet minister in that meeting. And that's why now you say Kamla's diesel price was $1.50 per liter. Rowley's diesel price now $3.91 per liter. Kamla's price for super was $2.70 per liter. Rowley's price is $5.97 per liter. Pray tell, please tell me, look to your children now, look to your grandchildren, look to your workers, wherever you are, and ask them and ask yourself, why would you vote for Rowley? Why? Why?